Well, they were a couple of tips and tricks, and now we're going to run through the customization in Lyrebird. So we're in Lyrebird now. We click on Customize tab, and there's a couple of options that we'll walk through quickly. So General Preferences. This is where you can select a default note template that is auto-selected when you start a consultation. So maybe I want to use NHS GP note as my default. Telehealth default sign-off. So if you select Lyrebird to be used in the telehealth consult, anything you enter into here will be inserted at the bottom of the note. So something like the patient consented to the use of Google Meets and Lyrebird in today's consult. That is going to include that at the bottom of every telehealth note. Now, note formatting, so if you want to use bolding and underlining and italics, for example, you can turn this on and then make sure you click Save Changes. The problem with the bolding and the note formatting is sometimes the medical records or the place that you're pasting it into don't accept that formatting, so it can be a bit useless. Make sure you test it, click the copy button and try and paste it into your medical record. If the formatting doesn't copy across, then just turn it off. Now we'll jump into note templates. So note templates are essentially when you remember Lyrebird consult, you've got the consult note on the left-hand side and the consult letter on the right-hand side. This is the consult note. Now, before you jump in and create your own template, what I would suggest you do is go into community and have a look and see if there are consult notes here that work for you. There's a whole bunch of them in here. You can click on it. You can test it on a previous consult, just like this. And if I do like it, then I can just add it to the account and I'll be able to use that in here. So I can now see that there's a adult new patient here that's from the community. But let's assume I do want to create that note template. I can click on this. I can either start from scratch and build up this from section by section, or I can click upload example, upload an example of my notes, and Lyrebird is going to mimic what happens in that note. So I'm going to do this quickly. I'll just pause it. And I've uploaded this consult note here, and I'm just going to click generate the template. It's going to take a couple of seconds, and Lyrebird is going to generate this structure for the note for me. So what we're doing here is we're taking in that note, we're redacting it of any personal information, and then we're uploading it to an AI model to essentially create your template for you. So we're looking at what wording is being used, we're looking at what structures or what sections are being used, what headings, looking at the language that you're using, and then we're creating this template. So you're going to select when it's being used in initial review. It's probably safest just to click both here. Give it a quick description. And then click note next, and Lyrebird is going to generate that template quickly. So you can see that it's created a couple of sections for us. The first one, history, examination, impression, and plan. Now, what I would suggest is once it's been created, test it out. Test it out on this consult here. And then what I would suggest is you go through each of these sections and make sure it is what you want it to be. So for this section here, never include the heading in this section. If I want to, I just put a space there. And I can test it again and make sure that is not including a heading like that. Essentially, just be careful with what you're adding in here because you are changing the prompts that Lyrebird has created for you, and it can increase the risk associated with it. So just make sure what you're adding in here is kind of open and not like making Lyrebird perform in its not in its intended purpose. If you do need help with this, please reach out and we can help you with the customization. If I go back now, I can click into the document templates and I can do a very similar thing. So I can click create new template. I can type in here, let's just do test one. I'm going to select what type of document it is. This is just providing context to Lyrebird. And then I'm going to select who it's going to. So this one's going to go to a specialist. And I'm quickly going to upload it again. So I've uploaded one. I'm going to click generate template, and it's going to do a similar thing. It's going to have a look at the documents, redact it, I'm going to upload it, and then we're going to create a section by section output so that you can edit each section and make sure it's the right template for you. So it'll take a couple of seconds. I guess while it's doing that, we're not storing any of these documents, so we're just using it for the creation of this, and then they're deleted straight away, and they are redacted of patient information, so date of birth, first name, last name, addresses, locations, things like that. But if you do want to kind of reduce that risk even more, then you can just redact it yourself and remove that information before uploading it. So I'm going to just go through here and quickly replace some of these. So I'm just going to call this intro. I'm going to turn this heading off because I don't want intro to be included. I'm going to first just test it out on that console. So this one here is down here. You can see this is in dot points. Maybe I just want this to be in a paragraph format. And then investigations, I probably want this to be there. And then management plan, I want it to be in a numbered format. Down the bottom, this is all right, but I could also just call this conclusion and paste in what it said there. Always, this section must always say. And then I kind of want to remove this last section about the signature. I don't want to include the conclusion heading, so I'm turning that off. Maybe in the top, I don't want any of this information here. So I just wanted to say this, right? So this section should simply say, I'm writing to refer. And I can use curly brackets when I want to use like a variable, I guess. So I can just write patient name, age-year-old, sex, presenting with suggestive symptoms of, and then I can just put in the diagnosis. It should be a relatively concise letter section, only including the above sentence. And now, hopefully, none of this section is included, and just this one. Perfect. Now, we can also see that the management plan is in numbered format, and the bottom, there's no signature anymore. So this letter is looking pretty good for me. Now I can just go off and use that in my history, or use it in a new consult when I'm using it next. The document templates also have a separate community in there. You can go in, search through the options in there, and add it to your account just by clicking on it, testing it out, and then click add to your account. If you want to add your own document to the community, you just go into your documents, click the three dots, then click share to community. You're going to change the name, and then you're going to share it. That is all for today.